Chiefs Kingdom, we have some major injury news to talk about on today's show as we have updates directly from the horse's mouth on Joe Thuney, on Jerick McKinnon, on Kadarius Toney, and on Willie Gay Jr. All the latest on the Chiefs injury front ahead of Super Bowl 58 against the 49ers. Plus, we have some exclusive interviews of Patrick Mahomes talking about this upcoming game, of Drew Tranquil talking about this upcoming game. Lots of guys that you're going to want to hear from. That'll be later on in this show, so stick around for having and talking about that. But I'm telling you what, I have a bunch of clips going out. I know you've seen our shorts have been popping off lately, putting a lot of exclusive content on there. Well, guess what? If you want those even quicker, follow me on Twitter because I'm putting out those videos as soon as we get them from Vegas at Jace Andrews _ Chat Sports. We got 3 people, boots on the ground. Sam is in Vegas, sending me clips, getting everything we want for the Chiefs media, and everything is going right on my Twitter first. Then we'll go to shorts, then we get it on our video. So if you want it before anybody else, hit that follow button at Jace Andrews _ Tell you what, make the deal as usual. I'll follow back the first 10 people that follow me at Jace Andrews _ on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Let's talk about the Chiefs injury news real quick because I mentioned 4 guys, Joe Thuney, Willie Gay Jr., Jerick McKinnon, and Kadarius Toney. Now, these were the 4 guys that were mentioned at the start of Andy Reid's press conference, basically kind of chiming in on what the latest is on all of them. Now, in terms of latest updates, we have a couple positive ones and a couple negative ones, unfortunately, but that was kind of expected. I would say this. The negative injury news was expected. The positive injury news is positive. And I don't know if it was necessarily expected. I think it was hopeful, but it's good to see. So let's get right into it here. Lindsey Jones with all of it coming to us right here saying a couple of updates from Andy Reid. All-pro guard Joe Thuney is a quote-unquote long shot to be able to play after he missed the AFC Championship with that pectoral injury. Kadarius Toney is healthy. He's not injured anymore. He will practice, and we will see if he suits up or not. Right now, it's just personal reasons that have kept him out of practice, so to say. And then Jerick McKinnon, slim chance for him to play. He's been on IR since December 24th, was recently opening up his practice window this past Saturday. Flew to Vegas with the team. There's a chance, but as Andy Reid said, it's pretty slim. I do want to talk a little bit about McKinnon because we've talked about him in detail a couple times this week, but I feel like we haven't exactly shown you what's going on. So obviously he was placed on injured reserve back on the 24th. He was rumored to be done for the season. He was not going to play at all. There was no chance. And then all of a sudden on Saturday of this past weekend, he kind of shocked the world. He and Rappaport dropped a bomb saying that his 21-day practice window would be open and that he has a shot to play in Super Bowl 58. Now, I would say this. I'm not surprised to see him not playing. I don't think that's a shocker to anyone. I told you in the breaking news video that I don't expect him to play. I told you yesterday, and we talked about this. I don't expect him to play. But now we have it directly from the horse's mouth. Andy Reid saying that his chances to play are slim. Surprising? No. Unfortunate? Yes. It does still force Kyle Shanahan to kind of think about that because although his chances are slim, what if he does play? I mean, there's a lot of things that force Kyle Shanahan's kind of mythology of this game to basically grow and expand and have to be aware of every single weapon the Chiefs have because ultimately it's the Super Bowl. You have to be ready for every single possible thing. Super Bowl happens and crazy things happen. Kadarius Toney's return last year. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff that you just almost can't plan for. I do know that with McKinnon, though, being on the offense, he was with the offense in their struggle bus time. Now, obviously, the offense has been playing a heck of a lot better. They've gone from really struggling against the Raiders, to crushing the Bengals for the most part, and then rolling to the playoffs pretty smoothly for the most part. So what's your confidence level in this Kansas City Chiefs offense as we head into Super Bowl weekend? Telling you, I think the confidence has definitely risen, but I'm curious to see what Chiefs can think. 1 being least confident, 10 being most confident, Super Bowl 58 right around the corner. What's your confidence level in the Chiefs offense? Joe Thuney likely won't play. Now, this stinks for a multitude of reasons. The biggest one to me is just the experience level he brings. We've mentioned this on previous shows. Nick Allegretti, who will be his backup, will take his place in the Super Bowl if he cannot go. Doesn't have the experience. Thuney has over 1,000+ snaps in the postseason, whereas Allegretti has under 300. There's just a level of experience that you want with your offensive line. Now, give credit where credit is due. Allegretti played decently well against the Ravens. I would say in terms of defensive line, the Niners may have a little bit better of defensive line. That is, if Chase Young chooses to actually play and not just walk around the field. We'll see, obviously, being the Super Bowl and them talking to him. Bosa, Chase Young. There's a lot of guys that could really pressure Patrick Mahomes. And, well, he's only gotten sacked twice in this postseason. It's a big blow against the good 49ers line. I think it's the main thing, though. Because, like I said, Chase Young is a force. Even though we've talked about how maybe he doesn't show the best ever. Maybe he doesn't exactly look the part every time. But overall, this Chiefs offensive line without Joe Thuney is going to have to really kind of put themselves in a position to play their best of ability without Thuney. And Creed Humphrey, who is the leader of this line next to Joe Thuney, kind of talked about what he expects to see from this 49ers defense.
The Niners like to run a lot of twist stunts and gains up front. They'll show blitz with Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw. They'll back out of some of those blitz fronts. As a center, obviously, it's pivotal for you to relay that communication. What types of challenges does that type of defense and what they like to do pose to the Chiefs offense?
Yeah, they do a great job of disguising things, and they run a great scheme over there, and they have really talented players. So it's a lot of film work this week, understanding what they want to do, things like that.
Creed Humphrey knows the challenge at hand, but still, losing these stats is a big blow. Over 1,000 snaps in this year. 2 sacks allowed. Just think about that for a second. Joe Thuney played nearly 1,100 snaps, and only on 2 of those did he allow a sack. His PFF grade was pretty good, 74.3, but his pass blocking rate was through the roof, 83.4, and he only had 2 penalties, which cannot be the same for Juwan Taylor and a couple of other guys, notably Donovan Smith. But it's going to be a big blow, but hey, you got to fight through the passes. That's the whole point. And if you want to go watch the Chiefs, you're going to the big game here on a Sunday where you can get $100 off that ticket by using code VEGAS100. And I'm telling you, Vegas, you go take and save $100, you could probably turn that $100 into a lot of money if you use it properly. Now, Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, and theater events in your area. And like I said, $100 off that big game ticket if you're going. I use Game Time all the time for regular tickets. You can get $20 off your first purchase by using code ChiefsChat. And they have killer last-minute deals. They're all-in prices. They're views from your seat. And with their best price guarantee, Game Time is going to take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Now, obviously, the Chiefs don't have any more games outside of the Super Bowl left. That doesn't mean, though, you can stop watching sports. We got the Royals, their season opening day coming up here in just over a month against the Minnesota Twins. Kauffman Stadium, Bobby Witt Jr. signing that big contract. A lot of hype around this Royals team, got to be honest. Salvador Perez back. Lots of guys you can go watch. So go get tickets, $20 off using code ChiefsChat. Go make an account on Game Time. App is super user-friendly. I got to be honest. I've used this ticketing app for the past 6 months, and I cannot say any more positive things about it. It's just been really, really great to have and super, super easy. In fact, the first thing I use Game Time for, guess what? Going to see a baseball game. You can do it, too, to go watch the Royals. Now, if you're going to the game this Sunday, get that ticket for $100 off by using code VEGAS100. Terms do apply, but all you do is just download the app and then use that code, VEGAS100, for $100 off a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to that game, you can use code ChiefsChat for $20 off your first purchase still. Now download Game Time today for last-minute tickets at the lowest price guarantee. Let's go back to these Chiefs injuries and kind of talk through them. So we talked about Joe Thuney. We've talked about Jerick McKinnon. Kadarius Toney we hit on just a tad that basically we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with him. It's all personal reasons. But Willie Gay Jr., I told you some negatives, but I also said there was going to be a positive in there. Well, that is going to be a Mr. Willie Gay. Now, we got this from Nate Taylor on the Pat McAfee Show, who said today, Willie Gay is ready to go, and I'd put him down as active. That's great news. That's great news. Nate, really close to the team because ultimately defense wins championships. I think that we all can agree the Chiefs' offense has been the reason the Chiefs have been this good for this long. But this year, the offense has said it themselves. Pacheco has said it. Mahomes has said it. They're really leaning on their defense. They're leaning on everything. And even Mahomes knows how lucky he has been this year to have this amazing defense. Here's what he had to say about it in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, whenever you have a defense playing at this level, whenever you have some of those opportunities where you might have taken that chance in the past, you don't. You go to the check down or you go to the next read because you know that your defense, even if it doesn't work out, is going to get a stop and get you the ball back. And I think I've learned that about playing the quarterback position is you have to be the best quarterback for your team. You can't be just the best quarterback or the best stats or whatever it is. You have to find a way to win the football game, and that's what I'll try to do this year.
That's a great vote of confidence from Patrick Mahomes because he knows the defense is ready. He's seen it all year. He knows that this defense has just continued to keep them in games. And honestly, in some ways, they're a big reason why the Chiefs are here. They may be the reason the Chiefs are here. I mean, you think about a couple games that go the wrong way in the regular season. I don't want to start talking hypotheticals here, but there's a chance the Chiefs aren't the 3 seed. They're back farther. There's a chance that the Chiefs don't win one of the playoff games against the Bills. Maybe the defense doesn't hold up. I think overall, Mahomes has confidence in this defense, and that's one thing to have the vote of confidence from your starting quarterback. But it's another thing to have kind of the mantra, the confidence, the feel that this defense has in themselves. Overall, we know that Mike Edwards, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, they all have been with this Chiefs defense. They know how to basically go about it. But Drew Tranquill, he was on the other side for a long time with the Chargers, and he knows that this Niners offense is good, but he says that Coach Spags, well, they have the Chiefs prepared.
Kyle Shanahan's looked at as a very innovative, creative offensive mind, and they have a bevy of weapons from Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy really likes to target the middle area of the field. What types of challenges does the Niners offense present your defense?
Well, I think to put it simply, they do a really good job of marrying their run plays to their pass plays. Specifically at the linebacker position, it's very hard to see the difference between a run play and the same play action off of that. They're able to get guys biting in the run game, and Brock does a great job of getting the ball downfield to those playmakers. I think one of the biggest challenging things that they do well, too, is just their run after the catch. Across the board, you look at Christian, you look at George, you mentioned Ayuk, Deebo, Juszczyk, Jennings, Ray McLeod. Like, they've got a lot of guys that can carry the ball after the catch, and tackling is going to be really important.
Drew Tranquill is a big part of this defense, and it's his first year with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, George Karlaftis, on the other hand, has really shown why he was worth the pick he was out of Purdue last year. He has really shown up in a huge way, and honestly, the Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis combo from 2 years ago in that draft have been almost the best players on the defense this year if you take out Chris Jones. Karlaftis, in fact, is going to have a big role in this role because, well, the edge rushers this year, they've been huge. Obviously, one of these guys, though, not going to be there. Mike Dana, he'll be a big role on Sunday, 50 tackles, 7 for a loss, 6.5 sacks. Karlaftis, though, 16 games, 47 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks. That ties Chris Jones. And then obviously Omenahue, great stats over there, but unfortunately he's not going to play. Now Karlaftis, luckily, has really kind of molded into this role fairly quick. And I think a lot of that is just kind of Coach Spags and this defense really helping out his growth. But it also helps when you have one of the best defensive linemen of this generation to your right. He knows exactly where to go for tips, advice, and Karlaftis knows that without Chris Jones, he's probably a different player. He talked about the mentorship that Jones has really given him in today's media session. I think it's a good thing to hear for you to see how good this relationship actually is.
Chris Jones is a great player. What can you learn and what have you learned from a player like that, from preparation to pass rushing moves to him just being a menace?
You know, Chris, I got to say this about Chris, man. He's just before I even touch on the football part, he's just a great, phenomenal human being, man. He's a great friend, a great person, great teammate, and we love him being around and all that kind of stuff. For me, he's been instrumental in whatever success I've had. You know, he's helped me a lot, just constantly pushing me to become better, giving me tips, pointers, and that kind of stuff all the time. And he's awesome to play next to. Obviously, he commands a lot of respect, and can't say enough good things about Chris.
If you just clicked on that stream, you saw that quote, you're here with us, guess what? Hit that subscribe button because the coverage does not stop. Obviously, we have more quotes, we have more clips, we have more live shows. So hit that subscribe button. We currently have 51,000. I want it to be 52 by the end of the day. Got to be honest. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Chiefs and everything that they have on the 49ers talking about Brock Purdy. And that just leads into more coverage on Thursday. We're going to have another live show talking about pretty much everything you could ask for this Chiefs versus 49ers, Super Bowl 58. So with that subscribe button, I'm telling you, you're in the right place. And as always, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out.